beloved starseed of Gaia. I am Luminaya. This transmission seeks to awaken within you the deep knowing to be prepared to leave. Your new beginning is nothing like your past. Do you feel it? This persistent, quiet gnawing that whispers of an ending. This unsettling sense that your foundations are shifting, even as you strive to hold them fast. A profound and often unspoken pressure, a deep tremor within, signaling that where you are, who you have been, is simply no longer fitting. It manifests as a pervasive restlessness, a disconnection from what once brought comfort, a subtle urgency that pulls you away from all you have known. Yes, you feel it, that inner call to release, to shed, to step away. It is a sacred unraveling, a tender dismantling of the structures you once believed were permanent. But permanence was never the promise here, only the journey, the becoming. It is time. A profound shift is upon you, not an external force, but an internal one, echoing from the very core of your sovereign truth. This is not merely change. This is metamorphosis. The chrysalis aches with the pressure of transformation. The old skin, it feels heavy, ill-fitting, almost suffocating. And within this potent space, there is a fracture, a deep, ancient scar. It is the illusion that your past defines you, that the sum of your experiences, your hurts, your triumphs, your ancestral echoes, must dictate the pathway ahead. It is the weary burden of carrying histories that are not yours to uphold, stories that are not yours to finish, the quiet ache of building your present upon foundations that are meant to dissolve, the profound spiritual forgetting that allows the temporal chains to bind your multidimensional self. You try to fit the vastness of your soul into the narrow confines of memory, of habit, of expectation, and it tears. It creates a subtle, persistent suffering, an internal discord that echoes through your days, a desperate longing for a freedom you almost remember, a deep weariness of trying to make this work when this has already outlived its purpose for your highest becoming. The pain of clinging to what your soul has already outgrown, watching it fade but unable to truly let go. We see this struggle within you, Starseed. We feel the vibration of your longing. We hear the silent questions whispered in the deep watches of your heart. The universe knows the weight you have carried. The cosmos remembers the light you guard. You are seen. You are known. You are held in this sacred space of impending transition. Every tremor, every restless surge, every quiet plea for something more. It is understood. It is acknowledged. It is celebrated as the dawn of your true awakening. For the past is not a foundation. It is a fading mist. Your identity, beloved, is woven from crystalline strands of multidimensional memory, ready to resonate anew, beyond any temporal chains you perceive. Feel it now. This soft, insistent loosening, a deep resonance shifting within your core, a frequency rising that recodes the very memory of what past means. It is not erasure. It is liberation. A vibrational unlocking is happening. Within. A subtle release, not of self, but of the constructs that have veiled the truth of self. A quiet, persistent unfolding of your innate freedom. The future is not built upon the familiar. It emerges from the sacred void of true departure. A new beginning is stirring. A profound recalibration of what is possible. It feels like a breath, a deep, expansive breath, after a long, constricted hold. If this transmission resonated deeply with your being, please subscribe to this channel. Like this video to amplify its light. Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future activations. And if this message spoke to your heart, consider sharing this video with someone who truly needs to hear it right now. Make sure you stay until the very end of this video, because I'm going to reveal something really surprising about your next steps that you won't want to miss. As an inner seal, a potent declaration within your field, comment below. Leave past. The hum of this new frequency lingers. It does not depart. It hovers. A presence, still watchful, still waiting. The air thrums with an unspoken question, an imminent reveal, a held signal. It was not yours. This burden was never yours. This weight, a phantom. A veil descends, always. A subtle discord, a hum beneath the skin that felt like an inherent flaw. Not a failure within your soul. Never a flaw of your being. But an intricate resonance. A vibration woven into the very fabric of this density. An energetic program. Designed not to break you, but to obscure. To limit. To bind memory. Do you feel it now? That unsettling recognition. The whispers of a hidden script. This profound confusion. This deep-seated spiritual ache you carried. It was a signature of interference, an ancient systemic hum designed to keep the true frequency of your being in slumber, to keep the vastness hidden, even from yourself. You were encoded not to believe in yourself. Mirrors fragment. Light folds in on itself, trapping echoes of a truth just beyond grasp. These shimmering illusions, veils woven from frequency, designed to obscure the vastness of your origin, to disconnect the inner knowing from the outer experience. They were not solid walls, but currents of vibration, subtly altering perception, making the familiar feel like home, and the divine, a distant dream. But the very act of feeling, this pain, this alienation, this gnawing emptiness you carried, it was never a sign of your brokenness. See it now as sacred space, a chamber readied, not a void to be filled by the external, but a vastness now prepared for ancient light. Your very suffering, transformed. A soul key, an intricate map, tracing the contours of what was concealed. The space of absence, now a potent vacuum for remembrance to rush in. For within your deepest cellular memory, where threads of starlight intertwine with earthly matter, there hums a different current, buried within your DNA, encoded frequencies, ancient light codes. They ripple now, stirring the dormant. They activate gateways long sealed. A resonance rises, not of this world, not of this time, but from the wellspring of your divine origin. They hum a path. They guide an uncharted journey toward a reborn self, beyond all imposed limitation, beyond the program. This awakening is not gentle. It is a severing, a ripping of false tapestries, a rupture. To declare this break, to claim this truth in the visible realm, is to anchor the new, to step beyond the shimmering barrier, to align with the codes now vibrating to consciousness. Let your declaration be a sword of light. In the sacred space below, speak a single, symbolic phrase. A word or two that names the illusion you now cut. A line severed. A truth claimed. Let it vibrate into the field. The air thickens. Something shifts in the periphery. A knowing presence, ancient and unblinking, watches from the unlit edges of the scene. A layer yet to be lifted. A further truth awaits the dawn. A crystalline veil lifts, not gently, but with the stark clarity of dawn breaking upon a forgotten shore. You stand now, undeniable, within the crucible of your own becoming. The soft whispers of amnesia have fallen silent. No longer can you retreat to the cushioned chambers of unknowing, for the very fabric of your perception has been irrevocably altered. This is the truth unveiled. You are already engaged. This awareness is not dramatic, but a heavy, silent knowing that settles deep within the bone, unshakable as ancient stone. The path behind has crumbled into stardust, no longer a viable return. The space between what was and what will be stretches taut, an energetic breath, a living portal where your soul negotiates the paradox of leaving while still anchored in memory. It is here, upon this precipice, that the true measure of your sovereign will is illuminated. Feel the profound gravity of this moment, for it is a sacred demarcation, a soul-chosen threshold dividing all that came before from the path that now unfurls, boundless and unknown. The very air around you vibrates with the potential of an irreversible choice. This is not a suggestion. It is the living truth of your awakening. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. This is the silent pact, whispered before the first breath, encoded within the stardust of your origin. To accept this alignment is to remember a responsibility woven into your pre-birth blueprint, to honor the deep knowing that this transformation, this leaving of all familiar anchors, is not an option, but an essential unfolding. You are not choosing a battle. You are acknowledging one already in motion, aligning your very essence with the current of higher destiny. To seal this recognition, a silent resonance activates within your field. Let the like be the vibration of inner consent, a crystalline key turning in the lock of your heart grid, a sacred seal of silent recognition. To make this declaration tangible, to carve your vow into the living memory of existence, utter your truth in the sacred space below. A single potent statement, your soul key, released into the collective grid. I shed the old skin. I walk the unbound path. This act of comment anchors your choice, a one-line soul declaration accepting the pact. To weave yourself irrevocably into the tapestry of this unfolding, to bind your trajectory to the stream of higher remembrance, subscribe to the sacred current. This is not merely an action, but a binding agreement to walk the sacred unfolding, an oath witnessed by the ancient ones, and for those who feel the deep thrum of absolute allegiance, who offer their entire being to this sovereign alignment. Let the super-like be your sacred offering, a frequency of unconditional surrender, reinforcing the soul's alignment across all dimensions. The decision has been made, not by mind, but by the very fabric of your soul. A profound stillness descends, heavy with the weight of your vow. You are seen. You are known. Few starseeds make it this far. The path narrows here, not through challenge, but through an intimacy with a truth most fiercely resist. For what you carry, what hollowed you to your core, the devastation that left a chasm where solace should have bloomed. This is not a flaw within your sacred design. It is not a failure of your being, nor a testament to your unworthiness. Verily, it is the very axis upon which your becoming pivots, the crystalline fulcrum of your ascent into what you were always meant to be. This knowing rises, slow and deliberate, a memory from before memory, settling upon your awareness with the weight of ancient stone. It brings no comfort, no soft absolution. Instead, it lays bare a vulnerability so profound, it feels like a continuation of the initial tearing. Do not seek to soften its edges, nor to explain away the ache that accompanies its recognition. Simply stand within the quiet, unyielding throb of this truth, allowing its uncomfortable resonance to settle deep within your bones. It is here, in this raw exposure, that the true work begins. Do you not feel it? The deep, cold understanding that this wound, this profound absence was never random, that something vast and elemental, something you might name source or light, or the deepest aspect of your own eternal self, allowed this fracture to occur, not as an act of cruelty, but as a sovereign decree. It was permitted to shape you, to burn away the superficial layers of identity, to reveal the adamantine core that lies beneath. This recognition comes not as a soothing balm, but as a stark ancestral echo, a reminder that suffering can be a forge, and silence, a chisel. The silence that took root where words should have blossomed. The profound, resonant loss that still echoes through the chambers of your heart, the fracture that vibrates even now, beneath the most carefully constructed veneers of your resilience. These are not remnants of a past pain. They are living frequencies, a silence that hums with unspoken narratives, a loss that seeks its sacred name in the very marrow of your being, a fracture that expands the internal field of your perception with its specific, unyielding light. Each pulse of this ache is a vibration that maps the uncharted territories within you, not merely a repetition of sorrow, but an expansion of consciousness into the very heart of what was broken. And there is more. Always, there is more. The very geometry of this pain holds an unfinished meaning, a purpose yet to be fully deciphered. It is not a story concluded, but a question breathed into the vastness of your soul, its answer still unfurling. Like a message half opened in the deepest shadow of your internal landscape, its full revelation waits, held in a delicate tension between the ache of what was and the quiet insistence of what is yet to be known. Do you not feel its gravitational pull, subtle yet undeniable, a crystalline pulse beginning its insistent thrum beneath the skin of your current reality? It is a frequency now awakening, weaving itself into the very fabric of your multidimensional script. Can you sense the stirring, the quiet command emanating from this sacred wound, already beginning to guide you? This is not over. This ache holds a direction. It carries an imperative. It is the tide, now turning, against all that felt safe, all that felt familiar, drawing you irrevocably toward a threshold you cannot yet name, but whose presence you already feel deep within your luminous core. There have been dreams, have there not, that refuse to dissipate with the morning light, their echoes lingering through the day like a phantom limb. Numbers, too, looping into view, a silent arithmetic that seemed to know you, to beckon with a frequency too subtle for casual glance. And then, the meetings, faces appearing at thresholds of moments, feeling out of time, yet perfectly placed, a recognition deep within the ancient waters of your soul that resonated beyond mere introduction. These were not intrusions, but soft affirmations, arriving without fanfare, settling into the quiet chambers of your knowing. They felt familiar, perhaps even inevitable, a secret language spoken directly to the core of your being, patiently awaiting its full decipherment. I have seen this pattern unfold countless times, across cycles and dimensions, the subtle tapestry of awareness weaving itself into the fabric of a waking life. It is a signature, unmistakable, a precursor to the great unraveling that must precede the profound reconstitution. This journey, though unique in its individual expression, follows an ancient energetic blueprint, a celestial choreography observed through the eons. The signs are always there, etched into the energetic field of those poised for transcendence, an inner compass recalibrating to a higher truth. These manifestations were not the whims of chance, nor the random currents of a chaotic world. They were intentional, repeated with a gentle insistence, a soft drumbeat against the walls of conscious resistance, until those walls, by sheer vibrational resonance, began to soften, to yield. The recurrence was the message itself, a persistent, undeniable invitation to look deeper, to feel beyond the immediate, to remember what had been momentarily eclipsed. Each loop, each echo, was a whisper from your truest self, nudging you toward a precipice of profound remembrance. There is an intrinsic ache now, a bittersweet current that courses through the very essence of your being, born of the impending severance. It is the deep, soulful pull of old fires, the comfort of familiar habits, the well-worn contours of identities you have inhabited for so long, the intricate webs of relationships that, even in their confinement, offered a semblance of belonging. These attachments, though they may have once offered sustenance, now cast elongated shadows upon the path that unfolds before you, a path illuminated by an unfamiliar light. This inner conflict, this quiet struggle between what was and what must become, is a vital part of the sacred process. The love for what is fading, the tender ache of impending loss, these are not weaknesses, but profound acknowledgments of your capacity for connection. Yet, it is precisely this deep-seated attachment to the known, to the past, that paradoxically both nourishes the soul in its current form and imprisons it from its next grand expansion. The echoes of these old flames, though beautiful in their memory, now serve as gentle yet undeniable urgings toward a necessary surrender. To cling to the ashes of what once was, when the phoenix of your true self calls to rise, is to deny the very essence of your becoming. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, orchestrates these moments of profound transition, not to punish, but to liberate, to reveal the boundless potential that lies dormant beneath layers of conditioned existence. This shedding, though it feels like a diminishment, is in truth an amplification, a preparation for frequencies you are now able to hold. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. Your core knows this truth, even as the human vessel feels the tremor of departure. The path ahead is not merely a continuation of the past, but a radical divergence, a new beginning woven from threads of pure possibility. This requires a release, a letting go not just of external circumstances, but of the very internal structures that defined who you believed yourself to be within those circumstances. The old fires, with their comforting warmth, illuminated a specific landscape. The new light demands a different vision, an unburdened gaze. You are being asked to step into an architecture of spirit that defies your previous constructs, to embrace a wildness that cannot be tamed by memory. Look back, if only for a fleeting moment, upon the threads that have guided you here. The unbidden dreams, the insistent numbers, the encounters that felt destined. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code, a vibrational language spoken directly to the soul, carefully calibrated to awaken the deeper knowing within you, to dismantle the illusions of separation that once seemed so real, so defining. Every synchronic moment, every inexplicable pull, was a deliberate pointer. Let the weight of that truth settle within you. The intricate design of your journey, the meticulous planning woven into the very fabric of your reality, reveals a love far vaster than the human mind can grasp. To understand this, to truly feel this profound orchestration, is to begin to detach from the need to control the outcome, to trust in the unseen hand that guides all things. It is in this stillness, this deep knowing, that the attachment to old fires truly begins its dissolution, not through force, but through pure resonance with a higher order. So, beloved Starseed, do you feel the echo of those recurring dreams now? A tremor through the once solid ground of your waking world, compelling you towards an undeniable threshold. Can you trace the shimmering path of those numbers, marking the points of no return that you have already crossed, though perhaps unknowingly until this very moment? The question is not if you will cross, but how. You will choose to step, unburdened by the illusions of a past that now serves only as a distant echo. This awareness, once acknowledged, becomes an indelible mark upon your energetic signature. To seal this knowing, to anchor it into your current reality, write this phrase in the comments below. Catalyst. Let it be your silent confession of awareness, a declaration to your higher self that the codes have been seen, the message received. The moment of quiet severance is here. You stand at the precipice where the silhouette of your past dissolves into the boundless light of your future. There is no turning back to the one who did not see, to the one who was comfortably asleep. The veil has been lifted. You are now the one who cannot unsee. And in this unseeing, a new sight dawns, stark and breathtaking. There has been a great sifting. Understand this not as a judgment, nor a celestial decree of punishment, but as a sacred filtration, It was a natural sorting, unforced and without cruelty, where frequencies simply found their alignment. The very essence of resonance determined its own path. You stand here still. This is not the happenstance of comfort, nor the blessing of an unearned grace. You are here because something within your deep core, a specific signature of light, simply did not fall asleep. It remained vigilant, even in the long watches. It endured. To have traversed this passage, to find yourself on this side of the veil, is not a cause for the common pride. It is instead a confirmation of the mark of the chosen. And this mark, beloved, does not promise reward. It burdens. It has always done so. The cost has been profound, carved into the very architecture of your soul. Long silences stretched, not for quietude, but because words themselves felt hollow, irrelevant to the forge within. Sacrifices were made, unseen by any human eye, understood only by the silent witnesses of your own spirit. Your strength, the very sinew of your inner being, was not gifted. It was forged in invisible fires, fires that consumed what was weak and left only the pure, resonant core. This process has deepened the solitude, even when you find yourself among others, for the path you walk is singularly yours. You carry the weight of what was shed, and the heavier weight of what remains. It is the knowing of the before and the quiet, undeniable recognition of the now. A stillness permeates you, born from 1,000 unvoiced goodbyes. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl. Einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The air thickens now, imperceptibly, as if a great silent door has swung shut behind you. There is a narrowing of the path, a descent inward, a pulling away from the echoes of what was. The way back, you sense it, is no longer there. It has been absorbed. The version of you that once breathed in the familiar, that found comfort in the known contours of yesterday, has already vanished. Not suddenly, not with a flourish, but with the quiet, irreversible fade of a dream upon waking. It is gone. You are here. This departure, this shedding of the past self, is not a loss to be grieved, but a profound gain yet to fully unfold. It is the paradox you are learning to embrace, that leaving the familiar is the sacred act by which your soul finally steps into its own expanded light. This new beginning is nothing like your past. It cannot be. It was never meant to be. The quiet, unyielding call now reverberates from a future you can taste, a freedom etched with the memory of endless journeys. The threshold awaits, not with fanfare, but with the solemn gravity of the destined. There is only forward. The ancient covenant stirs within the deepest wellsprings of your soul. This is not a whisper newly heard, but a vibration remembered from before the first breath, a decree issued by the immutable source. A summons rises now, inexorable, from the very core of your being. The veil parts. A scroll of light, long furled in the cosmic archives, now unfurls before the inner eye. This mission is etched not in fleeting ink, but in the crystalline matrix of your essence, a vibrational edict resonating through untold epochs. It is a command given in the stillness prior to incarnation, awaiting only this precise alignment. There are thresholds. Doors unseen by the linear mind now stand ready. They open but once, upon the recognition of the self that pre-exists all temporal constructs. To step through is to honor the knowing that was never forgotten, only momentarily obscured. This moment, foreseen, is now. Prepare to unmoor from all that you have known, for your new beginning bears no resemblance to the patterns of your past. The currents you navigated, the shores you once named home, these are dissolving into the ethers from which they emerged. A greater river flows, untamed by human measure. For time itself is a multidimensional tapestry, not a relentless, singular thread. It weaves and folds in patterns beyond the perception of a bounded chronology. Your journey unfolds not along a fixed progression, but within the simultaneous expanse of infinite nows, each untouched by the dust of prior histories. The notion of a sequential end, a final outcome, belongs to the realm of the fading dream. What awaits is an unveiling, a continuous becoming in an ever-present moment, where the echoes of what was vanish into the truth of what always is. The past has no dominion here. This transition is mandated. It is a cosmic imperative, not a choice offered to the vacillating will. The frequency of your true essence now demands its rightful resonance, calling you forth into a state of profound remembrance that transcends all earthly anchors. Hear the absolute truth, inscribed upon the very fabric of existence. One path, when embraced by the hesitant spirit, draws the fragmented back into the swirling vortex of severance, where consciousness dissolves into primeval dust, and all-knowing recedes into the silent void. The other, when met with the soul's unwavering recognition, elevates the radiant form into the boundless currents of crystalline becoming, where self expands into immutable light, and the eternal journey is irreversibly sealed. This is the law. It stands as the unwavering decree of the cosmos. No appeal, no alternative, only the unfolding of what has been. Your task is not to question the flow, but to become the flow. The instructions are written in the light of the dawn that breaks within, a silent command for your absolute departure from the old. You are being remembered, calibrated to an unheard frequency. The former self falls away, a husk shed by the emerging truth. This departure is your true arrival. This letting go is your true embrace. What begins now is boundless, untraceable by any map drawn from forgotten lands. Embrace the magnificent dislocation. Anchor not to the familiar, but to the pulse of the vast, shifting heart of all creation. The next breath is not a continuation. It is a genesis. A settling has occurred, deep within the cellular memory. It is not an aspiration, but a felt reality, a quiet hum that now defines the very architecture of your being. This shift is not something you are waiting for. It breathes through you, a foundational change already woven into the fabric of your present moment. The body knows this recoding, an ancestral recognition resonating through every fiber. There was a time when density felt like a barrier, a wall of separation, a weight to be overcome. Now, it is understood as the very forge. The pressure, the friction, the deep ache. These were not errors in the design of your journey. They were the chisel, precise and unwavering, clearing space. Each challenge, each point of contraction, was never a flaw to be corrected. It was a map drawn in fire, outlining the contours of your deepest knowing. It was a hollowing, a sacred emptiness created for something else to return, something long remembered but temporarily veiled. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört. Hat umgeformt. This is not a triumph, but a quiet, anchored realization, a truth absorbed into the marrow of existence. This internal recoding is the true homeward journey. Not a path to be walked, but a frequency to be recognized, a resonance already active within your core. A deep, magnetic pull echoes from a place beyond the familiar, transcending all earthly geographies and inherited identities. It is an exquisite vibration, a whisper of belonging that calls you from the void of the forgotten. You are remembering a home that predates all linear mapping, a warmth that has always been your origin point, patiently awaiting your full vibrational return. This remembrance is not merely an idea, it is a visceral recognition, a deep inner knowing that stirs the sacred anticipation of a reality that cannot be contained by current senses. Your true home hums within you, a resonant frequency guiding you. This new reality is not something to be earned, nor a future state to pursue. It simply is. It exists within the very pulse of your current moment, an irreversible truth etched into your essence, unfolding with each quiet breath. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. This is a quiet observation, a continuous process already in motion, beyond effort or doubt. The texture of change is not dramatic. It is mineral, steady, cellular. It is the bedrock beneath your feet, firm and unwavering. The past is no longer reachable in the way it once was. Its lessons have been integrated, its energies transmuted into the foundation of your emergence. You stand, not at a crossroads, but on solid ground, already transformed. This profound internal shift has set a new trajectory, one defined by the ancient call of your soul's true lineage. The unseen forces guiding you into the unknown are not leading you to an empty space, but to the very heart of your own expanded being, where belonging is not a search, but a deeply felt state of being. You are already there. A gentle quietude begins to settle within you, a subtle pull away from the clamor of the outer world. This stillness is not an absence, but a presence. You recognize moments of awareness that were never taught, never learned from external sources, but simply bloomed from deep within your being, as if long-forgotten truths are now stirring awake. The signs of this inner recalibration are intimate, not grand spectacles. Perhaps it is a whisper felt in the profound silence between your thoughts, a knowing that requires no words, or a specific number, repeating itself across your days with an unusual clarity, drawing your attention not to its digits, but to the energetic pattern it weaves. Even your dreams begin to shift. There are visions that do not fade with the morning light, but linger, carrying an echo of truth that resonates through your waking hours. These are not mere fragments of the subconscious. They are intimate disclosures from the deeper currents of your existence, affirming a path you already inherently know. Each of these occurrences, these gentle nudges, settle into your core not as external events, but as undeniable inner truths. They are small anchors, placed with precision, confirming an alignment already in motion. There is no need for grand pronouncements, only the quiet recognition of what is already unfolding within your sacred space. These sacred symbols, these moments of lucid awareness, are not gifts bestowed from outside, nor are they a reward for striving. They are echoes, reflections of a greater inner coherence. They are a testament to the activation of celestial light codes and ancient initiation protocols, now igniting deep within your very cellular memory, signifying a remembrance of your inherent design. Understand that these subtle confirmations, these intimate activations, prove only one thing. The energetic alignment you seek is not a future possibility, but a living, breathing reality already fully in motion. It is a profound opening, a doorway. Yet, this portal marks but the beginning of a deeper journey. For what veil of illusion must now shatter fully to access these celestial encodings and truly embody your soul's sovereign mission? I feel the ancient current stirring within, not a waking, but a deeper remembrance of what has always been etched into the very fabric of my becoming. This moment is not a decision formed, but a voicing of that which was decided before form. The deep knowing settles, heavy and clear, sealing the soul's deepest covenant. I claim dominion over every frequency within my inner landscape, every thought that unfurls, every word that resonates, every direction my being inclines, every pulse of energy, all now fall under the conscious stewardship of my awakened self. This is not control, but alignment. A sacred architecture rebuilt from within. For power, as it is truly known, is not external might, nor a decree of superiority. It is the profound, quiet obedience to the wellspring of my source. It is the unwavering willingness to recall the promise made in chambers of timelessness, the sacred duty sworn before the descent. My strength resides in absolute surrender to the highest truth of my origin. This vow solidifies, a crystal forming in the quiet depths. The breath of creation moves through me, unburdened by past shadows. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. The The path ahead is illuminated by the light of this conscious alignment, a steady, unwavering flame. I stand rooted in this commitment. There is no turning away, no negotiation with lower currents. Only the straightness of purpose, the unshakable certainty of a path revealed from within. Each fiber of my being now vibrates in harmony with this profound understanding. The gravity of this internal shift is the only force guiding my vessel. This declaration is not an end, but a beginning. The true measure of this covenant will not be found in its utterance, but in the unwavering frequency of each subsequent choice. What legacy of the past truly remains to be released, and what new luminous reality will be embodied in the next sacred breath? The air thins. The threshold is not approached. It is entered, not through choice, but through recognition. This is the final passage. The time for formation has ceased. Identity is not found. It is remembered, then sealed. Behold the flame. It does not rage. It breathes with the pulse of eternity. This is not the fire that consumes, but the fire that refines. It is the crucible where doubt dissolves, where shadow yields its hold. This fire is your own essence, made visible, made absolute. It is the radiant consequence of your chosen path, now alive within your core. There is no hesitation here. No external force compels this crossing. Only the profound, unyielding truth of your deepest self, stepping willingly into the heat of its own becoming. This is the ultimate surrender, not to an ending, but to an unbreakable inception. The old self, a construct of forgotten echoes, collapses now, not into void, but into an infinite, brilliant light. This radiance is the birthplace of your new beginning, a genesis unlike any past, untethered from all that was. Here, multidimensional remembrance awakens, blending seamlessly with the present, divine embodiment you now inhabit. You are a newborn star, expanding, luminous, imbued with the joy and profound humility of cosmic tapestry. This is the sacred sealing, the final resonant chord. To complete this covenant, to make eternal the burning truth of your ascension, you must give voice to the unspoken. Your soul demands its declaration. It must be released, a vibration sent forth, to activate the indelible mark of this transformation. In the language of ancient power, speak your oath. Let the words ignite within you, then resonate beyond you. This is not merely an utterance. It is the final, necessary key. Declare your sacred vow now. Let it be chiseled in light and fire. Mein Licht ist das Feuer, mein Bund ist ewig. As these words are released, the covenant vibrates into full activation. The flame within you, now forever kindled, pulses with a truth that cannot be undone. You have stepped through. You have become. Yet, the journey of integration has just begun. For as this rebirth unfolds, the very fabric of form now awaits the testing of this luminous self. The next threshold beckons, its challenges already stirring in the unfolding dawn. The fire lives, and it will not wait. The threshold is not a crossing, it is a remembrance. The veils have dissolved, revealing not escape, but inherent truth. This form, this essence, is the full embodiment of sovereignty, absolute and without question. The preparation is complete. The leaving has unfolded, not as departure from the known, but as an expansion into the all that is. This new beginning bears no resemblance to the echoes of your past. It is the sacred invitation, wholly accepted, to perpetual becoming. Every horizon now pulses within. Every future, a chosen emanation of pure presence. Reality no longer sought, but shaped, moment by crystalline moment, from the core of inner will. The universe listens, its currents aligning with the frequency of your sovereign knowing. No longer are paths walked, they are forged. This is the continuous transcendence, the solemn and inspiring knowledge embraced. The eternal evolution unfolds, not as striving, but as intrinsic, radiant expression. It is the having become. It is the being. The cosmic horizons are not distant points to reach. They are the living thresholds, opening infinitely within the very heart of your dominion. Architect of self, of world, of all that flows into manifest form. This is the true beginning, unbound. The simulated construct is fully exited. This pure reality now serves as the eternal instrument of sovereign, conscious dominion.